China's multi-pronged assault on our national and economic security make it the defining threat of our generation. PRC hackers are targeting our critical infrastructure, our water treatment plants, our electrical grid, our oil and natural gas pipelines, our transportation systems.
Well, that's the FBI Director Wray, not mincing words yesterday about the threat from China during a House hearing. He cautioned lawmakers that Chinese hackers now are prepping to wreak havoc on critical U.S. infrastructure across the board. Wisconsin Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher is the chairman of the House Select Committee on China. He was at that hearing yesterday. Sir, as alarming as those comments were from the FBI director, none of what he said is news. I mean, we've been covering this now for years. If anything, what is most notable is the degree to which these Chinese-backed hackers seem to be ratcheting up successful hacks of U.S. infrastructure.
Yes, this was the first time that you had the FBI director, the NSA director, the CISA director, the National Cyber Director all testifying together. And I think the most forward-leaning open source testimony that we've had describing what China is doing to us, what amounts to a cyber invasion of the United States. It's not a hypothetical threat. It's happening right now. It's the equivalent of placing bombs on our bridges, on our grid, on our water utilities, and there's no economic purpose or even traditional espionage purpose for doing this. There's really only one of two purposes. One is to hold us hostage so that we wouldn't respond if, for example, we got into a confrontation with China over Taiwan. Or the second is to actually cause, as Director Easterly testified to, massive devastation and death and societal chaos here in the United States. So it was a very sobering hearing. At the same time, the Biden administration is trying to make nice with the Chinese Communist Party. They are relentlessly attacking us and our critical infrastructure in cyberspace.
I know that one of your big agenda items is to try and as you say, in the absence of federal leadership on this issue, push back against the Chinese and try and deter cyber criminals from some of this stuff. Talk to us about what you're doing in the committee. Do you feel like you've been able to make any headway? What is it like?
Yeah, I mean, sounding the alarm, hopefully, is a call to action for anybody involved in our critical infrastructure to contact CISA, CISA.gov, and figure out how you can make cyber resilience a core part of your agenda. But there are things we can do legislatively here in the House and in the Senate in order to bolster our cyber defenses. One thing that came out of the hearing yesterday and was reinforced by the testimony of the FBI director is that we need to ban or force a sale of TikTok. The threat in terms of the manipulation or collection of our data, as well as TikTok being a dominant news platform controlled by the Chinese Communist Party that could spread disinformation, is too severe. So we have to take action on that now. Another thing we can do is to prevent American investment in Chinese technology companies, particularly cyber companies that are doing things designed to destroy America. But ultimately, this is a human problem. We need to do a better job of using the creative authorities we've already given the Pentagon and CISA in order to recruit the best and the brightest in cyberspace to work with the federal government to defend our networks, to defend our grid, so that our humans attacking this problem are simply better than the people that China is using to get after this problem.
Before I let you go, sir, as an American with a service record, I want to ask what your response is, what you made of the comments in that press briefing a little while ago by General Austin. The first time we've heard from him since 3 service members were killed. First time we've heard from him since his hospitalization for cancer treatment.
Well, obviously, I wish General Austin a speedy recovery, but we have a lot of unanswered questions about the fact that 2 weeks went by and the White House was unaware that the Secretary of Defense was hospitalized. I simply don't know how that happens, particularly at a time when American troops are under fire and dying in the Middle East. The fact that the president wasn't talking with the Secretary of Defense every single day raises serious questions about the continuity of our government, about his influence in the administration, and about how seriously this administration is taking the ongoing collapse of deterrence in the Middle East. So we're going to be asking some hard questions on the Armed Services Committee, because that was simply an unacceptable episode in terms of U.S. national security.
And he will be facing questions from all kinds of people for the coming months ahead. Chairman Gallagher, thanks so much for taking time with us today.
Thank you.
John?
Donald